All right, so welcome everyone. So my name is Nathalie Plamondon-Thomas, and I have with me the lovely,
Nathalie Lacome, nice to see everybody.
awesome. So we are here today for this webinar for fitness pros. So it's the do's and the don'ts of virtual fitness. So I'll take you back about 12 years ago. I was just starting to build my fitness business, speaking business, and coaching on the side. Yeah, on the side, because I had this voice in my head telling me, you can't quit your full-time job. Like, you can't make it on your own. You need a steady income, right? Because we don't make money in the fitness industry, right? I don't know if any one of you has heard that before, right? We don't make money in the fitness industry. So I was listening to that voice and I wanted to become a speaker in English. And that voice was telling me, well, you don't even speak English. What are you you want to write books in English? What's wrong with you? Like, I remember one day after a yoga class, at the end in the relaxation, I wanted everybody to relax their face. So I told them to put their tongue on the roof of their mouth. And I said, put your thong behind your tits. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So really bad in English. So I was listening to that voice all the time in my head. And I thought, I need to figure out a way to build my business. So I started working harder and harder. And I was getting up at 5 a.m. and then I was going to my full-time job during the day. I was teaching at night. And then after my shower, I would go back and try to do social media. And I thought, okay, and then I need to prepare my clients' workout. I need to do my own workout. And I was exhausted. And I was thinking, is that it? Oh, my life of being, my big dream of being an entrepreneur, is that what it is? Like, really? I could see how the more successful I was, the more exhausted I was. I was never seeing my husband and I would never spend time with the kids. And it was terrible. And I thought, how are people doing this? And that's when I realized I need to start putting some of my fitness business online and my coaching business online. Because if I go online, that allows me to maybe save some time and maybe make money while I'm not necessarily with my clients. I could see people going away for 2 months in Florida or in California during the winter. And I'm like, I can't even take one day off. Are you kidding me? So I spent the last decade putting together my business, and more so about 4 years ago when I said, this is it, I'm going online. And I spent, guys, so much money trying to figure this out. I spent so much time on YouTube tutorials. I spent so much time just trying to figure out the music right, just to try to figure out where to click, what to do. And today we're going to share with you some of the mistakes that we've made, and we're going to make sure that you guys start with maybe a head start. And I'm not saying that I'm fully accomplished. It's just that I did not start the journey during the pandemic. So I'm reading the same books than you are, but I might be a few chapters ahead. So for Nathalie, the experience about online was a bit different, right?
It's interesting because for me, when I moved back to Montreal about a year and a half ago or so, I was doing the same thing as Nathalie. A lot of the online coaching that I was doing for fitness professionals and fitness leaders and executives was done through virtual, but then my live stuff was conferences and the classes that I taught and some of the clients that I had in terms of that. And then when the pandemic happened, I had this big, beautiful project that I was able to work on in Quebec to help the clubs here reopen. And then it was starting to be okay, well, where am I going to start making money? How can I actually be a part of everything that's happening? And that was where the perspective shifted from me, because that's not where I normally sit in my mindset of how can I make money? And literally, this is where I went. So I went, how can I make money? Okay, it's summertime. The gyms are still closed. Maybe I can do stuff outside. Oh, look, I have an above ground pool. Maybe I should teach aquafit. Says the girl who hasn't taught aquafit in 22 years. Maybe I should teach so I'm like, okay, that's not the perspective to have. The perspective isn't how do I make money? The perspective is how do I serve? And the people that I serve are you guys. The people that I serve are fitness professionals and fitness leaders and executives and managers and leaders. And so to shift my focus back to that is when Nathalie and I connected and realized that we needed something sustainable to get through this. And so that's what led me to go back into the leadership coaching and the career coaching for fitness professionals. And that Nathalie and I had that sweet spot. First of all, you get double Nathalie, which I think is kind of delicious. I don't know, just plus a sweet spot of like where her and I, from coast to coast, well, not quite coast to coast, coast to middle of the country, but for her and I can do something together. And I know that, you know, you guys are English speaking, but for us to be able to record a program both in English and in French, if you haven't yet, watch the bloopers. They're on the internet, of her and I not realizing which language we're in. And that was creating fun in order to serve and get back to the industry. So that's how I re-kicked off everything, going back to virtual, in a place that I was really, really comfortable with. It was just taking what I was already comfortable with and starting to add more pieces to that, and teaching the classes that I teach and training the clients that I train, and being able to move forward from there.
So let's start right away with our do's and don'ts. So I will present you the first don't. It's in your head. The very first don't is your own limiting belief. And it's about believing that, oh, you can't do this. You're not a tech pro. Like you're not good with technology, and you won't be able to do this. You need to own like 17 cameras in a Steven Spielberg studio and have 17 assistants and a makeup lady and all this. And you need to create this huge, amazing production every single time you put a video together, or that you have an online class with somebody. You really don't. You really don't. So thinking that limiting belief has got to go, because I have news for you. You're very good with technology. Because if you have a phone, you're very good with technology. You went from this to this, to this, to this, to this. And the day you went from that to that, what happened? There was no keyboard, right? And you figured it out. You figured it out. And you're fine. You're okay, because every 2 months they do an upgrade on my phone. And now all of a sudden I can't find pictures. And then you have to figure it out, and you do. So you are good with technology. Stop thinking this limiting belief. Just say it in your head. I used to not be good with technology. I used to think that I was not good with technology. And now I'm willing to figure this out. You are a professional in the fitness industry. And this is hard. This is hard. 90% of the population don't like to exercise. You do. You like this and you're good at it. You understand how a muscle works. That is hard. All this intellectual property that you've accumulated with the years that you've been in the industry, you cannot let a machine hold you back. It's not because you don't know which button to click that you should not go into that. Because learning where to check, which box to check, and what button to push to record, hey, that's very easy compared to everything that you know about fitness. So remember that. So what is the do then, Nathalie?
So the do then is that right in your hand, or all of you probably certainly within hand reach, arm reach, show me how close it is. You all have the device by which you can actually launch your business on virtual. And so believe it or not, the microphone and camera on your phone are probably absolutely perfect for doing fitness on virtual. Very rarely would you need anything else. Sometimes the laptop, not so much. A lot of people that have Macs can use their Macs for that. A lot of PCs, sometimes the microphone isn't quite as great. Sometimes the camera isn't as great. This one, phenomenal. And this is, I mean, this is a what, iPhone 6 or something? This, look how small it is. See, I know I have mini hands, but this is a really small phone. And it's still perfectly fine, and it still works really great. And people can see you and hear you. And so literally in the comfort of your own home and in the palm of your hand, you pretty much have all the technology you need to launch a program on virtual. And for the club owners and the studio owners out there, your staff in the comfort of their own home, your fitness professionals have exactly what they need. There might be a little bit of something here and there you can do with a little bit of lighting. There might be a little something there you can do with this, but for very little, if not no money. And you can see Nathalie's got some fancier AirPods on. I have this, which came with the phone, and everything works. And we figure it out. And so when it comes to the barrier or the limiting belief of technology, you have in the palm of your hand. Literally.
Actually, I don't. I don't even have my AirPods on.
Well,
I don't have. I sometimes use them to do recording if I'm gonna
And we can hear you
I
perfectly
have some
well.
noise around me, but no, I don't even. And I guess you guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
There you go. There you go. That's the whole point. So, second don't. So, the second don't is to think that you need to have a big following. You need to be a superstar on social media. You need to have a huge, like 50,000 follower on Instagram in order for this to work. You need to have probably groups of 1,000 clients per fitness class, or you need to have a list of 17,000 clients that will do one-on-one training with you, or that you need to have a big community and a big network. That is not true. So this is the second don't. Don't think that. Don't think that. So what do we want to do instead, Nat?
And the do from it is whoever you have right now is already your client. And so it takes one personal training client. It takes one group, and a group can be 3 people or more when it comes to group fitness, or it takes your current membership base, if again, you're a club studio owner and manager, and that's all you need to get started. We tend to have this, again, this limiting belief or barrier with us that it's like, well, I have to get more followers and more people in order to launch an online business, when in reality, the people who you have right now, the people who have been texting you and calling you and sending you things and saying, oh my God, I miss your classes. I miss your training. It's not the same. I've been doing it at home. And if I have to work out one more time with the 2 pounds I've had since 1989, I'm going to lose my mind, lose my muscles. Those people, the members that are like, I wish I could come back, but I'm not quite sure if I feel safe to come back yet. You know, I don't know. I feel like you guys might open, you might close based on what your governor or premier or prime minister or president decides to do. And so the insanity of that's really hard for us to figure out. Those people need that stability. This creates stability. I teach in the park. One of the studios that I'm at, we went completely into the park for yoga on Saturday mornings. And a couple of weeks ago, it rained. Well, guess what? Took 18 seconds for everybody to go like, okay, we're back on Zoom. And it was just that easy because it created an alternative. When did you ever have an opportunity to not cancel workouts? If it's not available in the park, if the gym happens to be closed because there's an infection that took place and the policy is you have to close for 2 days after that, no matter what it is, those people who are already there, the audience you already have access to, are absolutely accessible thanks to doing something on virtual. So do know that they are there. We just need to open ourselves up to know that we don't need more. We start with the ones we have, even if it's just one person. That's client number 1.
So the next don't is to think that, oh, I can't do that because I don't have insurance. Like I can't really launch my business online. I was talking to a friend last week, and I was telling her, hey, you should actually get online. And she said, well, I don't have insurance. Like, I don't know, like, how does that work? And it's going to cost me like $5,000 to insure myself. And I don't have that kind of money right now. I haven't been working for 3 months. So what do you think? So Nathalie, tell us about insurance.
So the good news is it's there. They for some of the liability insurance companies had it figured out before this. The other ones figured it out and fast, like we all did with everything else that we're doing right now. Since we've been doing since March, we figured it out and fast. And so most of the certifying bodies have a liability insurance partner that works with them. And those liability insurance partners have made sure that they can provide something for virtual. And so I'll give you the example for me. I live in Canada, and my certification is through CanFit Pro. As a member of CanFit Pro, I'm able to do virtual, or I have access to a member benefit provider called Gallagher, that's the insurance. And that costs me, hopefully, I don't know if this is very, very different in America, but in Canada, it costs me $158 a year for liability insurance. And the extra for 12 months to top up to virtual was $50. 50 $50 Canadian, which is, I don't know, $8 American, something like that.
$50 is $8 American.
Something like that. Sometimes I wonder. Give or take a little something. But yes, and so to the question of does this cover everything? It covers everything. So, oh my God, in the US for $12 a month, that's amazing. And so it does cover everything you do on virtual, as long as you've got your waivers done, you've got your medical clearance done with everybody that you work with, the exact same way that you would do in person. And this is where club owners and managers are used to doing that with members. Fitness professionals on their own, sometimes not as much. These are some of the little things, and Nathalie and I can get into that later, but these are some of the little things that we need to learn if we become entrepreneurs and launch ourselves that way. But as long as you follow the rules, yes, whether it's pre-recorded or live, everything that we do in virtual can be covered with that. Read the small print because you want to make sure you're covered, but yes. And so super accessible, not $5,000 for me, 50.
Awesome. So the next don't is about music. So don't number 4 is, don't think that you can use the music that you have right now online. It's not the same. And a lot of people don't know that. So make sure that you realize that the music you have right now for fitness, even if you've purchased some professional fitness music that you're allowed to play in a group, even if you are paying your music on iTunes or on Spotify, you cannot use the same music. So Nat, tell us a little bit more about music.
So do use the music that you're meant to use when it comes to these situations. And so let's take a few steps forward. So we know that we're not using iTunes because that's for personal use, not for professional use. We know we're not using Spotify because that's for personal use, not for professional use. Most of us, I hope, have been using the music production company offerings that have been there for a long time. So there's a few different companies that do that. However, do use the playlists that were created for virtual, and they are not the same as the ones that you have already on your phone. They will literally, the company that you work with will send you access to a limited version of playlists of which those artists, the actual licensing and rights are covered for doing it on virtual. And that's the way to do it through Zoom, the way that we're doing it now. If you're doing some marketing and you offer a free class on a Monday night for fun on Facebook or YouTube, they will take you down. And they are taking people down a lot. They're taking down single instructors doing little things on Instagram, and they're taking down big companies doing, workouts that the instructor might not have checked every single song and gotten the right playlist. And these are on private Facebook groups, and they're still taking them down. And so making sure that the music is provided from the right person and on the right place.
So in regards to the music, I see in the chat that people are asking, is there any music sources? Yes, there are. And what we're going to be doing for you today is we're going to be providing you with a PDF so that you can download for free with, we call that the checklists. So there's a whole bunch of different checklists on that PDF, including Insurance for Canada and music sources as well. So you will have all that to download. We'll give you the link so that it's easy for you to go download the checklist, and then you will have some music sources there. So you'll be able to do that. We had more on the chat. Cindy says, I watched your Tech Pro. That was another webinar that I did, and that gave me so much advice, and I got a Vimeo plan to host my video and upload them to my website that I built for my online fitness peeps. You've given me so much advice in the past 3 months with your great webinars and courses. Thanks, Nathalie P. So you're welcome, Cindy. It's our pleasure. That's the thing. Nathalie and I feel like we need to pitch in because we might have learned a few things already, and if that's the beauty of a community, and that's why we all belong to the fitness industry, and if we can share, that's awesome. There's somebody got insurance in US for $12 a month through next.com. There's KNK Insurance as well that covers virtual in the US. Waivers, somebody's asking, do you need to pay a layer? So Cindy, we don't have necessarily to do that. Ask your insurance company if they have waivers. So that's how I got mine, and they provided me with a waiver. So what I did is on my online fitness, so if you go to thinkyourself.com/online-fitness, you'll see at the top, there's all my videos that they are locked. So when you click on them, then you can unlock them. So that gives me people's email address, and it keeps the creeps that would just want to watch the videos to have a bit of a barrier there. They have to enter their name and their email address. Those are just free videos that I put during the pandemic. But at the top, there's a waiver, and it says, by unlocking these videos, you agree that you could die and that I'm not responsible. It's not really what it says, but it's a whole very well phrased thing that I put there. So check with your insurance company if they do have.
Yeah, Cindy's saying that Gallagher asked us to get their own, and she's right. And so they do want you to be able to cover yourself when it comes to that. And they do suggest that you speak to a lawyer. That is so the answer to that, Cindy, is that's the safest way to go. There are lots of waivers on a lot of companies that do it. So if you're using Gallagher, I assume that would mean you're in Canada. So there's lots of different stuff that's out there that you can maybe get inspired by. If you want to make sure that you are 100% covered, then yes, you would want to float it by a lawyer or somebody who maybe would like some free classes in exchange for their fees to look over your waiver. There's a lot of different ways to get through this pandemic, and everybody's getting creative, so we can do that.
The other thing that you can do in that regard as well is if we have a minute here, I have a membership with a company of lawyers, so I pay $29 a month, and with them I have access to resources, so I can talk one-on-one with a lawyer, and it's included in my membership. So I pay $29 a month. It's for small entrepreneurs, so you can pay the 29 bucks a month, which is pretty cheap. I know it is worldwide, and I will find the name, and I'll put the link in the chat before the end of the webinar, or in the email that we will send you after, so that you have a link. And you can ask one question per call. So they don't draft anything for you, but you would submit them your waiver and say, hey, my question for that one call is, what do you think of this contract, and is it okay? And then they'll say yes or no, and then they'll give you suggestions on how to modify it. So I think it's really reasonable. Even if you use it once, then you could cancel at any time. You don't have to sign up for a whole year. So that really worked for me. And they do your will as well. If you don't have a will, they do your will as well. So I'll put that on the email that we send you after.
A couple of other things. So just for the other two questions, that's a great resource, Nat. Thank you. I'll grab that myself. So the music sources, we will actually include those in a gift that we have to send you guys after we're done here today. And in terms of charging, we're going to get to that in just a sec. So thank you, Nicole and Carolyn. We will talk about that in just a second.
Awesome. Okay, so the last don't, because we have 5 do's and don'ts for you today. The last one is, where do I go? How do I start? And it's to think that you need to have everything set up for your whole empire of online business before you can start. I need to have, okay, so what should I do? Should I have one-on-one, or should I have group fitness, or should I have live? Or if I do live, do I host on social media, or do I go live on YouTube, or do I go live on my own website, or do I use Zoom? Like, how do I do that? So, because right now I already have some clients virtually, so where do I go from here? Or what if I don't have any virtual experience yet? Where do I start? And maybe I've been doing virtual for 2 or 3 months already. So what is my next step now? How do I make more money doing it? And what's the deal? So, Natalie, why don't you tell us about that?
The do, quite simply, is to download the PDF that Nathalie and I are sending you, because we've created, to make it really simple, we've created a choose your adventure type of way so that you don't have to keep following the arrows along the way. And what we did was essentially help you decide in particular between live or pre-recorded, based on kind of where you are now and what you've created so far and where you are right now with your clients, whether you're doing one-on-one, small group fitness, whether or not you have a website or you don't have a website, where you have a web page or a landing page or you don't, whether or not you're on social media or you're doing it on Zoom. We kind of help you figure out where it goes from there. And that sets you up for success for your next step, because everybody has a bit of a different next step, but we kind of try to pop it into a choose your adventure way of looking at things so that you kind of figure out right away what your next step is. There's 87 ones after that, but you got to start with the first one, right? Is that not how we coach people through movement and fitness? That it's just the next step. Don't worry about losing 50 pounds. Worry about your next workout and think about what your next meal is going to be and think about how you're going to drink water more today, and that's it. So it's the same thing with us, and something that can feel overwhelming. Listen, I've been teaching, coaching, learning, presenting in this industry for over 25 years. Never in my life did I think I would have to do, and I'll give you a little secret, about 103 tests when it comes to sound before figuring out my first class that needed musicality along with it, a beat, because yoga was a bit more a piece of cake. Never did I think I'd be like this at my desk going like, is it the bandwidth? Is that why I can't serve? Never did I think that was going to happen, but we are here. And so that's why Nathalie and I are doing this, that it's all the years of experience and learning. And I mean, I've been honing these skills for over a quarter century, and I'm smacking my head up against the desk, not the laptop, because I have to be careful with it, but I'm smacking my head on the desk going, I don't know, is it the bandwidth? Should we restart the modem? Like, this is the stuff we're dealing with right now.
If you don't know what Natalie's talking about, if you've not done virtual, but if you're online, like let's say right now, I would put some music on, and I would talk to you, and I would move to the music and try to be on beat with the music. You see me, the image does not travel at the same time than the sound travels. So that's one problem. So all of a sudden you're not on beat. So if you're doing fitness classes, everybody sees you with a delay because the volume of the computer music goes faster than the image that they see. So you need to replicate this, and we explain that in our course anyway.
We explain it. And so
it's tricky.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tests you need to do.
There's a lot of idiosyncrasy. Test and retest some more. But point of all this is everybody has a next step. If you're stuck at sound, then that's your next step. If you're stuck at, you know what, I've actually kind of started before the pandemic, and then I've been moving into it, and I wonder if pre-recorded makes more sense for me at this point, then you have a next step. Everybody has a next step. I'm running a studio, and what I'm actually trying to do is get multiple instructors to be able to pre-record content for me to create a membership site for myself versus just do a class by class or personal training session by personal training session. I want to have a hybrid version of my in-person studio in case I have to close again, or my in-person gym in case I have to close again, so we can still serve the members. Everybody has, and every entrepreneur and every fit pro and owner has a next step. So that's where we're trying to help you guys figure out where you are from there.
There you go. So I will give you the link right now. So if you look at the screen, thinkyouself.com/checklist. So if you go there, that's where you download the PDF that we were talking about. So thinkyouself.com/checklists, plural. And then you can download the PDF there that will give you all the list that we were talking about. So there's a list as to if you are in this situation and this, then that's the solution for you. If you're this, then that's the solution for you. And then there's a checklist for you to get ready before a class. And there's a checklist for your client. So what is your client has to do to get ready as well on their end. So there's a checklist for them as well. So we have a lot more than this in our new course. So the course, Cindy was talking about Think Yourself a Tech Pro that I launched earlier. I think she's done my Think Yourself a Business Pro as well, the 10-step to build a successful business. This one is very, very specific. It's Think Yourself a Virtual Fitness Pro. So exactly for this industry, how to launch quickly your business online. So we have a few people that have already done the course because they didn't want to wait, and they heard that we were launching this week, and they're like, is it ready? Is it ready? Can I buy it? So maybe Nathalie, you can tell us about Megan.
The cool thing about Megan is she's actually my yoga teacher. It was one of the things that I loved about, strange to say, one of the things that I was grateful for as it relates to the pandemic is I had missed her classes. She was the teacher that I used to go take classes with in Stouffville, which is north of Toronto. And when I moved here, I missed them a lot. And then she started putting stuff online. And I noticed that all of a sudden there was nothing there and she wasn't offering the classes anymore. And so I asked what was going on. And she literally on Instagram chat, Instagram message, DM'd me and said, you know what, I'm ready to throw in the towel. I don't think I can teach anymore. I'm not feeling it. It's just, everybody doesn't know where to go. It's just this and that and everything else. And I said, I have something for you that I think might help you out. And so she registered for the program, did it. And then within 24 hours, I kid you guys not, within 24 hours, I'm seeing her marketing. I'm like, ooh, yes, please. Can I come to class? And everything shifted. And I said, would you be willing to send some feedback? And she's like, absolutely. And this is what she wrote. So that it really lit a fire back under her for her to move forward with her virtual training. Like I said, she was considering not doing it anymore. She loved that it was, you know, all little bits and pieces in terms of the video. So you don't have one 47-minute long, 2-hour-long video with it, but little videos, and then you can go implement those ideas afterwards, make notes for yourself, and move on to the next one. But she had a clear action plan to start. And within 36 hours, I was back in her classes. And so selfishly, I'm very glad that she did the program because I get to do my yoga practice again with her. But I'm just so happy that she feels there's more joy even in her teaching now. I find her classes even more fun than in person. I think as she's just taken all of that pressure off of herself, she got rid of those limiting beliefs and she's able to move forward. So I'm really happy that she enjoyed the program for that.
We have, there's another testimonial from one of my clients because I do business mentorship one-on-one. And the questions that I get from my clients all the time are the questions that we put in the Think Yourself a Virtual Fitness Pro, so that people who cannot afford necessarily to hire Nathalie or I working one-on-one with them to direct them, what's your next step, then you do this, then you do that, report to me in 3 days, or let's do this week, and then you go to the next step. Then you get the content. So one of my clients said, if it wasn't for Nathalie, I wouldn't be making the money I am now. All she taught me is keeping me extremely busy and employed and making money during this crazy time. So she never lost a beat. I was actually in Palm Desert actually for 2 months when the pandemic hit, because I figured out a way to do that. And I remember at the very beginning of the pandemic, it was like March 17. We had a session together that was planned anyway, and right away we switched to online. All our business went online. She started to present webinars and to do all her stuff online. So it is quick. You can move around very quickly. So the course is available here. So thinkyourself.com/online. And what it includes exactly. So we'll put this link, we'll send you an email so that you have all the links as well if you don't have time to type them, or if you're driving right now and just trying to distractedly look at your phone. So thinkyourself.com/online. And what exactly is in there? We're talking about the future of virtual fitness. We're talking about your clients, who needs your help. We're talking about brand, how to create a brand for yourself, the different ways that you can deliver your services. There's more than one way to be online. All the visual and all the technology. Making sure you're covered. So we're talking about insurance, we're talking about music, we're showing you exactly how to set up your volume so that people see you on time, on the beat. There's entrepreneurial skills as well. So we talk about branding, about marketing, how to price yourself when you're online. You should be more or less. So what's the deal? How do you sell your services as well? And how to continue to be yourself and get your mindset in the game as well.
And bloopers.
And we've got bloopers. Awesome. So we had a discussion, Nathalie and I. The program is available for $198, and we thought that we want to pitch in, even though in the course we are telling you that you should not lower your price, because you are actually giving people a better way of exercising, because they don't have to leave home. They don't have to pay for parking. They don't have to go anywhere. And 3 minutes before their time, they can start getting ready. So we tell you not to lower your price, but right now we know that even though a lot of industries are still working and making a lot of money, so your clients are making a lot of money, we know that you may not. And we know that in the fitness industry, a lot of you have not been lucky and you have been cut off and you have not been working for 3 months. So that's why we decided to give you a huge intro discount so that you guys can get started. So instead of $197, we're giving you the course for $47. So it's like a 76% discount. And my husband was like hearing me the other day because we launched this in French, and he's like, "Are you crazy? Like, what's wrong with you? like you're teaching people how to make money, and then you have this ridiculous low price. Like, you're talking on both sides of your mouth. Like, this is not working. Why are you lowering your price that much?" And I said, "It's my peeps. It's the fitness industry we're talking about." And I talked to a lot of different industries, and I don't know that I would do that for most industries I talk to. I have to say that I have a crush for the fitness industry. That's my background. I've been in the fitness industry for 33 years. And Nathalie and I had this discussion, and she totally agreed that we need to do something for you guys, and it's our way to give back. So $47 pretty affordable right now. So you enter the code Nathalie2 because there's two of us. So Nathalie with an H. Remember that we spell our names the French way.
French way.
So Nathalie2, you go to thinkyourself.com/online. Then when you click on purchase, there's a coupon code that will appear. And then you will enter the code Nathalie2 that will drop the price down to $47 plus taxes. So yeah, that's our gift to you, and hopefully you go download the checklists as well. I don't know if you have any more questions. I'm going to check in the chat. Let's see.
So I can maybe talk a little bit about, since it actually did come up as a question for virtual, Nat, in terms of pricing. Here's the thing. The pizza shop down the street and the burger shop down the street are charging more now. They're charging more. They're charging more for their combos. You can get a burger and fries and a pop, which you used to get for, I don't know, $7.99, is now $9.49. Because they closed for a little while and now they reopened, and all they have is, like, you know, a plastic shield, and they can still reopen and go back to something that's closer to their profit margins. Us in the fitness industry are still working through significant differences and significant changes based on the safety protocols and the sanitary protocols that all of us, I think everybody here is in North America, had to put into place. This is a health crisis. It's a virus, but it's a virus in a health crisis. And nobody else works passionately harder in preventative health than our industry. If the pizza shop can increase their prices in the middle of a health crisis, you best believe we can do what we need to do also. And that's okay. The value is the value is. We can have big hearts, but when we turn into bleeding hearts, it becomes really difficult for the entire industry to survive. And so the value of what you offer stays the value of what you offer. If not, might be increased from what it was before, because people are valuing their health differently than they were before. You can, if you want, have the price and then have something next to it, which is a pay what you can. So there can be two buttons. The price for this package, for example, something that you're offering is $495, or pay what you can. And the people who cannot pay more than that will take that. They'll take that option and they'll be okay with that. And then you'll have done the right thing, the caring thing, if you want to do something like that. But if the value is $495, then the value is $495, and most people will be perfectly okay paying for the $495 for that value. If we decrease the price for everybody, all we're decreasing is the likelihood that we're still in this industry 6 months from now.
Absolutely.
Okay? Everybody?
Yes. 100%.
Namaste, my loves. Namaste.
100%. I have to say that I did that right as soon as I started my classes online. I was teaching strong and I was teaching Zumba online. And I think the saying was, I think I was charging like $5 a class, and then I put two options. Option number one, $5. Option number two is, sorry, I cannot afford it right now. I just want to dance. And one person through the whole, I think I did that for 6 weeks, 3 times a week. One time somebody chose the option that they couldn't pay, but it was there. So if somebody just wanted to dance, and in my advertising, I was telling them, hey, if you just want to come, just come, and that's fine. So and nobody really took me up on it. Only one person in 6 weeks. So just saying. I do see that there are some private message in the chat to me, so I will be responding to you directly as I was sent privately to me.
I just put something there for the question that Kate has as it relates to the music. Listen, Kate, what we do say in the course is we give you a ton of best practices as it relates to the syncing of the music and the issues there. And then we go over what's worked for Nathalie and what's worked for me, having tried a lot of different things ourselves. That said, everybody's got a different phone, everybody's got a different bandwidth, everybody's got a different laptop, a different music company that they use and everything else. So here's what I'm going to do instead, because I'm not an overpromise, underdeliver kind of girl. I put the link here of the blog post that I wrote with my setup, and then Nathalie and I talk about that in the program. So have a look at that setup. If that doesn't work, send me an email and we'll see what we can figure it out together. Because I don't want it to be, yes, I can 100% guarantee, but if you have 3 teenagers watching movies at the same time, it might still not work at the same time that you guys are offering your classes. But have a look at the setup, and then Nathalie and I will absolutely help you. So we send the music companies. There's a few different tricks and tips that seem to be in general helpful on Zoom in particular, because it's using a platform that was not built for sound, was built for video. And like Nathalie says, the waves come out differently when it comes to sound and video. And so we've gone through this and see where we can go. So have a look at that, and then let us know if that works. If not, we'll work through something with you. But we put as much as we could in the most accessible content so you guys can do this.
Yeah, so
snap it up and launch.
In the course, we teach you exactly. So in the course, what I do is I show on my screen the same way I'm showing this. I'm showing you where to check the box, what to do, how to move the thing, and I'm teaching you exactly how to set up your music so that there's no delay. That worked for Nathalie and I on 2 different setups, 2 different homes, 2 different part of the country. So we're thinking that it might be a global solution. So I really appreciate that Nathalie is telling you full disclosure. What if you have a funny setup at your house and it doesn't work? So we don't know if it's going to work 100%, but it's a pretty darn good solution we have in the course. So we think, anyway, it's working for us. There you go. So any more questions? Oh, and thank you, Cindy. She said her courses rock. She's very detailed. I am very detailed in my courses, I'm happy. And it was so much fun working with Nathalie because she has so much experience. Like, this lady is a legend in the fitness industry. You're known in Australia and in the States and everywhere around the world. So she's got so much knowledge that it was a great partnership because we brought stuff from so many different areas of the fitness industry and of the business industry as well, because Nathalie was VP of a huge company as well, CanFit Pro, for a number of years. So she brings a lot of business side. I bring the entrepreneurial side to this as well. So I think you will enjoy the course, and hopefully you get to give us some testimonials because you got it for dirt cheap at $47. So we're thinking maybe in exchange they'll give us a nice little testimonial on the course and send everybody that they know to get our course. So this discount will be available. Somebody's emailing me privately in the chat. Can I share this discount with my friends that are not on this webinar? The answer is yes. So tell them to hurry up though. So send the thinkyourself.com/online and the code Nathalie2. And yes, they can, you could share that on social media and advertise it for us. Absolutely, that would be great. We would rather them to pay the full price later, but that's all good.
You know,
If
just,
you want to share, just share. It's like,
yeah.
start the car.
We want, I mean, part of this a little bit of saving our industry, you know, like part of this is being resilient and pivoting. And you notice that it's not just, the tricks aren't just little techie things, but a lot of it's mindset. A lot of it is shifting us over to where we need to be right now and how we can continue to serve. And I know you guys want to serve, and I know your clients and your participants and your members absolutely need you to figure it out. And we're all in trauma and we're all in a crisis, and it's up to all of us. Like Nathalie said, I love the concept of community, to come up for air a little bit, see if we can reflect a little bit and see where we can go from there. And so that's what's critical to us. That's why we wanted to launch this, and we recorded it as quickly as we could in 2 languages. One day we had 3, I don't know what happened that day, but as quickly as we could to get it out there so that you guys could meet the demands of everybody that's there, and be able to move forward and relaunch your career, because you can still do it. You don't have to get a desk job.
Yes, exactly.
People need you. Time to go back and serve.
We have a beautiful note in the chat. Thank you for your webinars, your blogs, your courses. You both seems to be authentic and beautiful women. Thank you.
We do shower before recording.
Tell us more. I wish you were my friends. Of course, we are your friends. So let's chat. We offer, both of us, virtual coffee to anybody. So I have my offer is there, Nathalie, as well. If you want to just contact us, book a 15-minute virtual coffee with us, it's our pleasure. And she said, I'm looking forward to starting your courses that I already have in a bundle, because you have, that's right, you've bought some courses before. And oh, I like that she said, God bless you both, Natalie's, with an S.
That's funny.
And Caroline said this was so inspiring and helpful. Thank you to 2 Natalies. So thank you guys. You are an inspiration for everybody around you. People are looking up to you, and it is your duty to transfer all the knowledge that you have to make the population around you healthy. You have to figure it out, because people need you right now more than ever. So get on it, get working, and you'll figure this out. You got this. So goodbye, everyone. And if you have any more, I'll just leave the chat open for a few minutes. Thank you. Thank you.
It's our pleasure, guys. Good luck. Let us know how it goes. Please keep us posted, because nothing makes us happier than people being successful and trying things and figuring it out, and then the testimonials you guys get from your members and clients, everybody else. And so that's what keeps us going.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caroline.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.